Hey everyone, this is Dhruvin, and in this session we are going to talk about receipt processing AI model with the help of AI Builder and Power Apps. So now let's get started. Before we get started, let me give you a little bit introduction about me. Myself Dhruvin Shah, and I am working as Power Platform Specialist and Office 365 developer at one of the reputed company at Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. I am a very active blogger and YouTuber having 390 plus videos and 120 plus tech articles. I am rewarded 3 times C Sharp Corner MVP for my constant contribution towards the technology. These are my social media handles detail where you can connect me. Now, let's get started with today's session agenda. In this session, first of all, I am going to give you overview of receipt processing AI builder model. After that, I am going to give you some real life use case and example for receipt processing. Once we are doing with the example part, we are going to discuss about the key consideration that we need to keep in mind before we proceeding further for receipt processing AI model. And at last, we are going to talk about best practices for receipt processing, and we will develop one Power Apps which uses receipt processing model and store the data to the SharePoint list. So this is the overall agenda that we are going to perform throughout the session. So now let's get started with our first topic, that is overview of receipt processing. So the first question arises in our mind, that what is receipt processing model and how it is useful in our day-to-day scenario. Receipt processing is a pre-built model available in the AI Builder. Receipt processing uses OCR technique to detect, print, and handwritten text from the receipt. So, receipt processing is something with the help of OCR technology, it will automatically detect handwritten or printed text from the receipt that we are providing, and based on that, it will populate the fields. Now that was the theoretical part. Let me show you some example. Let's consider an example of any printed receipts. Like this type of receipt is something when we are going to any consumer shops or whenever we are going to any petrol pumps or something like that, they are providing this type of small receipt to us, right? So the receipt will look like this. It will have the merchant information, like whenever we purchase the item it will show that information and which are the thing that we have purchased with their quantity and amount, everything is showing over here. Now in AI Builder we have two different types of scanning procedure method. One is form processing and another is receipt processing. So what is the difference in between form processing and receipt processing? Form processing is something which scans the invoices or a rent receipts or something like that. The receipt is something which is smaller in size, while the invoice is something which has the detailed information. Form processing is something which is a custom AI model which is available in the AI Builder, while the receipt processing is something which is out of the box AI Builder. Now here you don't need to train and publish the model. It is automatically available whenever you have the AI Builder licensing. Right now, let me talk about some example that we are going to perform throughout the session. Right, so we are going to build this type of Power Apps where we are scanning the copy of the receipt, and the receipt will automatically detect all the information. With that, we are also going to add some other fields which users can manually fill in, and when they hit submit button, all the information with this merchant information and line item will submit to our SharePoint list, right? So this type of thing we are going to achieve at the end of the session. Now before we proceeding further, we need to keep in mind some of the things. Now let me explain you that thing in detail. At this moment, this receipt processing is something which support only JPG, JPEG, PNG or PDF format. The file size that you are uploading, it should be less than 20 MB. The image dimension must be in between 50 cross 50 or 10,000 cross 10,000 pixel. PDF dimension must be at the most of 17 cross 17 inches, which is equivalent of the legal or A3 paper size or smaller. For PDF documents, only first 200 pages are scanned. So these are the few consideration points that we need to consider before we proceed further for receipt processing. Now let me explain you some of the best practices that we need to follow. You can scan a single copy at a one time. You don't need to use complex images like this, right? Now second thing is that use the common seal step receipt. So seal step receipt is looking like this. It will be a very it will be smaller in the size, right? While this is something which is called as form. So for that we can use form processing. The invoice is not the receipt processing is not scanning the invoices like this, right? Use the flattened receipt, right? Don't use the crumpled receipt like this, right? So these are some base practices that we need to follow. Right, now this is something that we are going to talk about while we are doing the practical. Right, now let me move over to my browser and let's get started with the demo part and development part. Right, so now let me show you that thing in detail. First of all, let me explain you list schema. This is the sample receipt that we are going to upload during our scanning process. So here you can see that the line items, right? For each receipt we have different line items. So for line items we have created the separate list, or for the parent information we have created another list, right? So we have parent-child relationship over there. So I have two different lists. One is employee receipt and second one is purchased item. Right, so purchased item is something which is stored as a line item and it will take the receipt ID from this particular list. Now here we have taken different fields like merchant name, merchant address, phone number, transaction date, transaction time, total, tax, tip, subtotal, employee name, and ID is the out of the box column. And now same ID we are taking over here as a receipt ID, and the name of the product, quantity, price and total price we are storing over here. Right, now let me go show you how we can get started with the development part. So first of all, you can see that whenever you use the AI builder, you have the build section and here we have the receipt processing. Right, so the first step is that it is showing the get started process. So it will automatically process the sales receipt automatically over here. Right, now here it is try it out option. So here you can upload any of the receipt that you wish to check. So let's say I'm uploading my receipt. So you can see that all the fields has been detected here and it is showing over here. Right, now this is something that we can quickly check, like your receipt is supporting with this receipt processing model or not. Right, now it is supported. Now let's use that in the Power Apps. Right, you can use that directly in the flow as well as in the Power Apps. Right, you can also click on this, so it will automatically create one canvas app for you and it will automatically add one receipt processor model over there. Right, so this is the first way to create the this is the first way to use receipt processing AI model inside the Power Apps. Right, now let's say for an example, I don't want to follow this procedure. I want to add into any existing Power Apps. So how can I do that? Right, so let me show you that procedure. So let's create one blank canvas app from here. So from new app, let's create one canvas app. Let me create the canvas app for tablet layout. Now go to insert menu and from here, from AI builder, let's select receipt processing model. So that will add the similar structure over here like this. Right, now what we need to do here is we need to show the data in our pre-populated form. Right, for that what we need to do here is we need to make the dataset connection. For that, go to the data sources, go to the connectors, from here select SharePoint and add the connection. Now here you just need to provide your site. So I'm providing the account portal over here and I'm selecting this to list over here. Right, so I just make a connection of my data source. Now let's just add one pre-populated form. In order to do that, just edit the form, and now from here just select the data source as employee receipt. So what it will do is it will add all the fields inside this particular form and your form will be created. Your form has been created successfully here. Right, now let me just remove this attachment control over here as I don't need that. Right, and rest of the information will be as it is. You just need to rename some field. It will look like this. Right, now what I want to do here is I just want to make this table for a line item and I just wanted to store the information from here. Right, now for that what we need to do here is, let me explain you. Let's write one on change event for this receipt processing. For that, select your control and go to on change event from here. Now here we need to type this code. Right, now what is that code? Let me show you. So first of all, we just need to reset our form. So reset form, and inside that we need to provide the form ID, that is form 1 that we just added. And now here we just need to create one collection. that is purchased item. So right, so what we need to write here is we just need to provide any name of my collection, and that will store the line items that we are uploading here, right? So line items are getting using dot purchased item. The property name is purchased item, right? Now which are these property, let me explain you that with the help of presentation deck, right? These are the model properties that we can fetch while we are scanning the receipt. So we are getting the merchant name using merchant name option, merchant name property. Address we are getting with this property. Phone number we are getting with this property. Transaction date property, transaction time, purchased item, right? So purchased item is something that will provide name, price, quantity and total price, that is in form of table, right? So this is something that we just used, like whenever we created the collection, we just use control name dot its property name, that is purchased item. So we are getting the entire thing inside the collection. Subtotal, text, tip, total and detected text, this is all the information that we are getting from our out of the box model. So we just need to keep in mind about these properties, right? Now what we need to do here is let's scan the copy and let's check what we are getting inside the collection, right? So I am just scanning one of my copy over here, and let's see what happened. You can see the form has initialized, but it will need not pre-populate anything here, just because we are we didn't set that field inside the form. Now let's say for an example, let's check its on change event and let's check the collection. So whenever we double click on collection and when we just expand, you can see the line item has been stored properly over here, right? Now what we need to do here is we just need to set the properties over here as well. So let's say I want to set the merchant address, right? In order to do that, let's just unlock the card, and now in default event we just need to provide its value, we just need to provide its property. Now instead of this, what we need to do here is form processor 1. So what is the ID for this particular element? Let's see that receipt processor 1, right? So just copy that receipt processor 1 dot, what we need here is merchant address, right? So here we are getting merchant address like this. Same way we are getting merchant phone, transaction date, transaction time, everything like this, right? So here I have performed the same thing over here. Now let me explain you which are the default properties that I have set for everyone. So let me explain you that thing in detail. So let me select every field from here and let me open the default event for all the fields so I can explain you properly, right? I expanded the default property. Now let's select that. So this will show form processor 1, receipt processor 1 dot merchant name, receipt processor 1 dot merchant address, receipt processor 1 dot merchant phone, receipt processor 1 dot transaction date. Now here transaction time, right? Receipt processor 1 dot transaction time, right? Now here in the date, what would be happen, date would be similar like this, we are getting the time, but in Power Apps form it is showing date time like this. So this date will be automatically added here and time will be added with that property, right? Now subtotal, receipt processor 1 dot subtotal, text, receipt processor 1 dot text, receipt processor 1 dot total, receipt processor 1 dot tip, and receipt processor, this is the manual field, employee name, right? That will not detected from here. Now let's proceed with this line item thing, right? So here we are getting line item in form of collection when we click on change event. So on change event we are getting this collection. So let's add that collection into data table. So from here just add one data table here and let's provide one collection name over here. So inside data source let's add one collection. So here purchased item collection, let's add that and let's add those fields. Like what we want to show here is I want to show product name, quantity and total price, right? So I just wanted to show these three columns, so it will be appearing like this. And now let's just move that data table over here. So here you can see that the line item is looking like this, right? Now let's use the save function. Save function will simply submit my form, so it will store all the information to the parent list. Now for child list we need this ID, last submitted ID, plus this line item. In order to do that, just click on your form, and on success event you just need to write some line of code. So on success you are just looping on your collection item, that is purchase collection item, and inside that you will use this patch function. Patch function is something which enters the new item to your second list. So your list name you need to provide. Second parameter, we are adding the new item, so we need to use defaults, and inside that we need to provide the list name. Now here we need to provide the different fields that we need to store. Right now, title means the product name, price means this record dot price, total price means this record dot total price, and quantity means this record dot quantity. Now receipt ID is something that is the last submitted ID of form, so form1 dot last submit dot ID that we need to provide here. Close this. Right now let me show you the end result, and let's make some testing. Let me remove these things from here. I cleared both of my list. Now let's make some testing. So I'm uploading that receipt, and similar way all the fields has been showing here, and now I'm clicking on save button. So what will happen here is it will store my receipt. So you can see that that entry has been added, and two line items with respect to receipt ID 10 been added over here. So if you see its ID, that is 10, and that will be taken over here. So hope this is clear for you now. If you have any question related to this topic, you can add your questions in the comment section. All are my social media handles where you can follow me. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe and press the bell notification to never miss any updates from my channel. Stay tuned with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter and WhatsApp. If you wish to receive the daily notification from my channel, click on this link. It will be redirecting you to this form. Fill the form and you will be receiving daily notification on your WhatsApp number. Stay connected with me. Have a great day. Goodbye.